Good morning, YouTube. It's the next day. This is part 2 of my video. I decided to cover my head up, and I'm going to sort of unveil it in steps, I guess. Just a little run through an explanation before we go forward. When I went in to do my hair, she said I had enough hair length to dread it up on its own. However, she said, pardon me, just using your natural hair may, take a longer while for it to get dreaded and actually knot up. So what we decided is, when we went into the salon, she looked at the length of hair that I have, and after back combing it, got back to about a 3-inch-ish size or so to work with. So she decided to use hair from a weave, being that it's a primarily African-American hair place. She has all kinds of different colors of hair for weaves, everything from, light blonde right up to black. So she found a color that was sort of goldenish blonde, similar to mine. And what she did is she teased back the hair and then wrapped it in, dreaded the actual weave hair. And it's interesting because the weave hair is actually, it's real hair, and it's very natty and crinkly. So it'll sort of automatically dread right away, and the baby dreads that come out actually look pretty locked up. If you look closely, you can see the wrapping of my hair around this hair, but through wrapping it, she wound up actually extending each dreadlock, and they actually wound up being about 1 inch or maybe 2 inches longer than my actual hair was, which is good. So the length of the hair is actually pretty long. It goes down to about my shoulders. Now the benefit there is, while that hair is in, my natural hair is still going to grow out, and it will dread up along with the hair that's there. And the hair that is there, although looks a little wrapped and a little fake right now, will eventually thicken up and get natty. So that's where I'm at. I've actually tied them back into a bun before, so I'm going to take off my sweater and show you what they look like tied back, and then I'll untie them and I'll unveil all of them together. Alright, so here we go. Without further ado, I will show you what they look like now tied back. So these are what they look like here. You can see the color of them and the texture. I don't know how well that's going to come across in camera. And I have them tied back with this little tie-dyed scrunchie, actually, that I got at Pure Yoga, Ottawa. Speaking of which, if you want to go to the best yoga studio in all of Ottawa, go to Pure Ottawa. It's the best. We have a location on Richmond Road in Westboro, and we also have a location at, I believe it's 368 or so Bank Street, at the corner of Bank and Bank and Gilmore, I think. It's where the old Rogers building is, across the road from the Quickie and the Bridgehead. Great place, really great staff. It's all hot yoga, and it's a really wonderful experience, so check it out. The hair I got at 91 Main Street at, it's called Inting, I-N-T-I-N-G, Inting Hair Studio. So this is the hair. It all came in pretty good. I was worried about the top here. As you can see, with it pulled back, you can't see where, it has receded somewhat here. Here, I'll take it out now. Actually, no, I'll just take my hoodie right off. So yeah, this is the hair here. With it out of the scrunchie, it wound up looking like this. So I have all of these dreads, and they're all pretty natty, and they look, they look not too bad. They look pretty presentable. right off the mark. I can throw them all back, throw them all forward, and this is how they look. So, you know, the sides here are pretty full, the back's pretty full. I haven't really actually gotten a good look at everything yet. That's what the back looks like. The front is like this, and as you can see, there's a couple of little baby dreads that they did here because of where I'm receded. She was able to pull all of it into one here. She left it a little looser, mind you, so that it wouldn't break because the hair and the shaft is thin, and over time it will eventually fill and tighten and that up there, as well as this guy here. I got one there that's, yeah, so I'd say probably these guys here are the ones that are in the front where it's really thinned out, and then I have, you know, all the ones on the side here. So if I wear it a little, you know, more sideways as a sideways part, it's not too bad. It is going to look pretty patchy because I just got them done and it's not quite filled in yet. So that's it. I mean, this is, you know, this is the length that they are. They go right down to here. I'd say my natural hair goes to about there or so, and then the rest of it is just filled in with this crinkly, you know, hair. So the way it'll work is, as you can see, you know, they're not super duper thick by any means. And these are what you call baby dreads because they were just started out. In time, let's see if I have a pencil here. In time, they will eventually thicken up, and they should get to about the size of this, or this pencil. So in comparison, you can see it's not too different, but they will thicken up. They don't smell. You don't, you know, use dirt to make them. You know, they smell quite nice. They have a, she soaked them in hot water and a dread relaxing product to make them a little more supple, so they weren't, because like when I just came out of the studio, they were all sort of like this and like that, and when she was done, and you know, I was leaving the studio, and she said, okay, well, you know, that's kind of crinkly, so let's go and you know, soak them in hot water with a bit of dread oil, and that loosens it all up. I'm going to take a couple, or pardon me, I took a couple of stills of the dreads being done, so I'm going to go and put those up now. So as you can see, you know, these are the stills that I have as the hair was being done. They're not the greatest pics, but they're not too horrible either. So once the hair was done, I asked her, I said, okay, so how does it go for maintenance? What should I do with the hair? Do I do anything different with the hair? And she said, if it was only your hair and freshly done, you know, it would be a little loopier, and it may not, it may take, you know, more time for it to gnat up, and you probably wouldn't want to wet it for about a week, or just use dry shampoo to wash it. But because she had actually, you know, dreaded in real natty hair into it, she said it's fine, you can wet it right off the mark, that's not a problem. There's a soap product from Lush. I'm going to grab here. Okay, here's the shampoo product that I purchased from Lush. It doesn't come with this little container, but I got it separately. It's kind of a pain in the ass to open, usually when it's wet. But you can see here, it's kind of green and gooey. I'll put a picture, a still up of what the actual soap looks like without being all, you know, all used up. But this one here is called Karma Comba. It's a great soap. It's actually gooey. It's a no residue soap, and it smells amazing. It smells like patchouli and dirty hippies, but yeah, it's nice. It smells really good. I'm going to use that. I was reading online, it's the soap I've been using for, God, a couple of years now. I buy most of my products at Lush, but people with dreadlocks online were suggesting using either that one or the red one. They're little sort of discs, and they don't leave residue, and they tend to rinse out well. The issue is, a dreadlock is just a whole bunch of hair that's natty. It's kind of like when a dog has matted hair, or an animal. It's basically your hair is matted and all crinkly and clumped together into a tube. And when you use regular shampoo that has sulfates and residue in it, the residue gets trapped in the dreadlock, and as you shower and rinse over time, the residue stays in the lock. And if you were to cut one of your locks off and cut it open and look inside, you'd see all the gunk and residue that those shampoos and soaps leave in your hair. So the idea is to use one that doesn't leave a residue and rinses out clean, so that your hair doesn't get all gunked up. Another issue with washing is to make sure that they're nice and dry before you put them up or before you go out and do anything. If they aren't dry and they have residue in them, especially, they can mold or they can rot. Now, the fact that that's possible leads a lot of people to automatically assume that dreadlocks are dirty, they mold and they rot, and there's no two ways about it. Not the case. You can certainly maintain and keep very healthy dreadlocks that smell wonderful and, are easy or a little easier to maintain than your typical haircut. Now, the thing is, there is maintenance to be done with them. As my hair does grow out, you'll always have about an inch or two of like thin or loose hair, and then dreadlocked hair after. And the way the hair dreads up is it starts at the end of the start of where it's dreaded, and it starts to knot up from there back into your root. It doesn't go from your root back, it actually goes from the end that's dreaded to the root, and it knats up in there. Now, if you aren't separating each dreadlock and palm rolling it like so, what'll happen is they'll all start to clump together, and it really doesn't end up looking that great. So you want to do maintenance. If you aren't comfortable doing it yourself, I'm welcome to go back to the lock shop, and she will actually do my hair. She said now, because it was just done, probably can wait about 2 months before I go back. But you go back whenever, just as you would when your hair gets too long, or you don't like the way it looks and you go for a haircut. When you feel it's getting a little out of hand and gross, you go in and she will take each individual dread, and she will use a special tool that looks similar to a crochet hook, and she will just stick the hook in, turn, pull, stick, turn, pull, stick, turn, pull, stick, turn, pull, and she will tighten each one of the dreadlocks so that it gets tighter back to my head. So as time goes on, they will get longer and they'll grow. They will fatten up to the size of about a pencil or so. I don't have super duper thick hair, so they won't get much thicker than my pinky, which is fine by me. I kind of prefer the smaller look. And that's it, man. These are the dreads. I'm quite happy with how they turned out, actually. I'm very happy. I think they're great. I think they suit me well, and I'm pretty excited to have them for a while. So that's it, man. The next video I'm going to have will be how they look in a month's time, and I'm going to continue this on, hopefully for years to come, if I can. And every month I'll be doing a video, as long as, Brad Copeland and Maddie Love keep sending me reminders. I will happily send videos. Anybody who wants to hit me up on Facebook, feel free. Matt Davis, and you can search me by looking up vibealive@gmail.com as my email address. Shoot me a message, fire me you know, anything you want to say down in the comments below. If you have questions, concerns, you want any info on anything, please let me know. That's it. The unveiling of the hair. Hopefully it'll fill in and it'll end up getting bushier, you know, and it'll look more awesome as months come. So stay tuned. I'm gonna have more hair videos coming out as they lock up tighter and as they get more mature. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video, share it with your friends, and that's it, man. We'll see you next month. I hope that the video satisfied everybody, and happy days.